someone who played his first game for Cliftonville back in 1985. He made 331 appearances for the Reds. He scored 47 goals and was an integral part of our coaching staff as we won back-to-back titles. But more importantly, he is the best thing to come out of the Army Road since the road to the market. Can we give a massive round of applause to Peter Minto Murray?
Thank you, folks. An absolute honour to be here. Just like to say a few words. Great to see so many old faces here. I think George started it off, you know, this is a time you get behind your club and support your club, because it's easy supporting clubs when teams are doing well and winning things. We used to win a corner and a throw in and we used to celebrate it, so, and a lot of players, a lot of people in this room will remember it, so I'm not going to mention about what's going on, but always support this club. This is a very, very special club.
Somebody said if you get Minto, it's alright, you won't need to think of anything to ask, you'll just talk, and I think you just proved it. So thanks very much, Minto, it's going to be easy. We obviously talked about your exposure history at Cliftonville, 331 appearances, and you scored your final goal for Cliftonville at Windsor Park in 2000 actually. You retired in 2001 in a victory at Windsor Park, which, as you've just alluded to, we didn't have many victories, if any, came back then. So what's your memories of your last goal at Cliftonville and that victory at Windsor Park?
Okay, for those who weren't there, I got back around 7 defenders, crossed the ball in, was able to get on the edit and head it at the back post. So it was just one of the normal average goals, so it was. I remember because it was a right foot volley, and anybody who knew me, my right foot was for standing on, and the ball came across, and here's me, what do I do with this? So I took a swing at it, and lucky enough, I went into the top corner, and here's me. Did you mean that? Here's me. Of course I did. Of course I did.
We were well got at Windsor Park anyway, so I'm sure the whole place was delighted for you back then, were they?
They were delighted. Thank God you didn't give me that blue mic earlier, or there would have been a bit of a row up here.
I normally take the way, but this battery's running low. So that's a really fantastic final moment, if you like, your final goal for Cliftonville. But your career didn't start at Cliftonville, and I know you made your career debut early on in the Irish League. Can you tell us who that was for, where it was at, and how it went?
Well, I always supported the Reds. I was one of the very few people who was at the 79 Cup final and watching us lift the cup. It was a fantastic day for anybody who was there. And I was always looking and wanting to play for Cliftonville. But Cliftonville then, I don't think, had a great scouting system. There was a guy called Jerry Crossan. Jerry Crossan used to run Ashton Gate, and I played, dabbled a wee bit between playing for the local market team. And Jerry was quite friendly with Billy Sinclair, who was down at Glenavon at the time, so I ended up playing for Glenavon. But my debut, like, as all good players, I made my debut on a testimonial match, and George Best was playing. Now, for anybody who knew George Best, I'm not saying I'm gay, but he was gorgeous, I swear to God. He was the only man ever I've seen in my life with a tan. Think back years ago, everybody was in black and white. He came into the change room, I just stared at him, I just went, fuck, you're gorgeous, George. But it was better than that. After the match, he was going, it was a girl, you might have heard of her, Mary Slavin or something, what do you call it? She was a Miss World, and of course, George brought her into the change room after the match. And I was going, George, you're still better looking than her. George was beautiful. I tell you, anybody who's seen George in his time, he was just a beautiful, lovely, very human. He was a very shy guy, but he was able to pull the odd bird now and again. So that's why I liked him.
Not unlike yourself, Minto. Bit of history. That's the unbelievable first entrance into the Irish League, if you like. I was in preparation for things like this. I would try and speak to different people, find out a few stories about the individual that we're going to talk to. But Barry Johnson never is ever prompted. But as you know, Barry has such a want in him that he needs to be mentioned in these things. So he texted me out of the blue and said, will you ask Minto about me making him retire by nutmegging him? Now, I don't believe that for a second, but maybe you can tell us a bit more.
Well, believe it or not, in Barry doesn't tell many true stories, but that was a true story. And in fact, when Barry Johnson nutmegged you, I think anybody in this room retired. Barry Johnson could even nutmeg Jose, but he nutmegged me one day, and I was at the waterworks, so even the swans were singing to me, Minto, it's time you retired. But moving on, I got my own back on him when we were in the middle of the league campaign. Barry was in the reserves for a while, and he kept rapping the door, you know, whamming out in the first team. Cadney shake, Boise shake, he shake, Chris Kern, what are you saying him for? I'm the best midfielder and all. James Knowles, Blackburn couldn't lace my boots. He says, and you have me in the reserves, Minto? Here's me, John, the only reason why you're in the reserves, because you're too old for the under-18s. Right, fuck off.
I'm absolutely delighted you told that. So I can't wait to text them back. You obviously then, you came to Cliftonville later on in your career. Obviously you were at Ballymena and Portadown in between teams. I think it was between 91, 99 and you're 92, 99, those sort of years. What sort of reception do you get back at those clubs now?
Well, I think anywhere I got quite lucky. People like me, believe it or not, so, you know, they might not like my style of play, whatever. No, I'm always very welcome in both of them clubs and at good times there too. But I think when you play for Cliftonville, your heart is always there, no matter what. You're always looking at scores, and I think few of our players, like Barry, want to try to play for other clubs. When you play for this club, it's just something different, and I just went through that wall to play for this club. And no matter much money you're getting, and you're getting whatever, when your heart's in it, you can't beat it. You can't beat it.
I think that'll resonate throughout the room. I think there's an awful lot of belief in what you just said. Because we had the likes of this, you know, Ronan left, went to Ards, you remember back then, and he came back. But you were then brought on board by Tommy back in at the start of his reign almost. But you and Tommy go further back than that, don't you? I think you remember when, or were you at the club when Tommy was signed? Is that right?
Yeah, I was at the club. I heard the name Tommy Breslin. Tommy played for Crewe. Was a very good amateur league player. But just happened, I think it was in the treatment room. Freddie Georgine was there, God rest him. And next minute, he came in. Hey, what the fuck's happening here, Minto? He says, I'm here to sign the wee lad small. He says, and he's brought his fucking dad with him. His dad was Tommy Breslin. He's like, hey, that's fucking Tommy Breslin. He's a smasher. You're fucking balls, but that's his daddy. So lucky enough, he signed Stevie Small, he signed his dad, which was a very good thing for Cliftonville as the years went on.
So both those signed at the same time then? Both Stevie and
Yes, both signed at the same time, yeah.
You then had, obviously, you're in the boardroom, you're in the backroom staff as we went in. You being the passionate guy that you are, which we knew an awful lot about, even I suppose during that period, we knew what your influence was within the change room, and Jared referred to it earlier. Did you find it frustrating, more difficult, or challenging almost to not be part of the playing staff, even then when you were, you know, much older and in the backroom staff?
No, I think once you retire, you retire. But just Tommy came round to the door one night. I think Eddie had just left the club. And Tommy came round and people thought, yeah, Tommy was getting a job. Tommy says, just came to the house, says, Minto, we've got this job for one day. He says, I don't know if I wanted it. He says, but he just told me straight, he says, there's a team here which is going to win league titles. He said, he said, this team should have had 3 to 4 league titles. He believed that. I says, Tommy, something wrong with your head, isn't there? He says, no, believe me. So we went up and had a yarn with the players and just said them basically the truth. I knew a lot of lads who were there well, like a Jordy, Jonty, the Skinnells, and just said to them, lads, you're probably just bored. You need to remotivate yourselves. You'll have a very short opportunity to really grab this, and if we all go forward in the right direction, we have no doubt, because this man here, and Tommy, he's a great manager of people. He just said, this man here believes in you, and if Brezzy believes in you, Bressy's a very, very special person, and you see crisis and all, he's a fantastic man, but he really believed and he knew, he said, Minto, this team is the best team in the Irish League by a mile, and he was correct.
So it was a real joy to be a part of it then, as opposed to being frustrated. Your joy was, I suppose, motivating these.
Delighted to be a part of it. Delighted.
Fantastic, and believe me, everyone in this room is also delighted you were a part of it, Minto, back then. So we really do thank you for your efforts in that league winning, I suppose, pain that we had, which is great. Just on a side note, Minto, you know, I wouldn't ever do something like this, but I asked my wee lad today, would he come and take pictures? He says, Daddy, no, I'm not. Everybody will look at me and all, and I get all embarrassed. That's him wearing the red top, and I swear, you don't look at him. He won't get embarrassed.
That's a wee ginger at the back there. You bastard.
Ginger, I don't often go out of the house with him. See, I just thought he would do something for me today, so I brought him. You had so many good times as a player and within the coaching staff. Have you got one particular highlight that you look back at Cliftonville and think, I'm glad they gave me that?
Well, I think we're sort of going for the first title, and in fact, I think we would have won. We're so worried that in future. But we were going well at that stage, but when you lost Rory, and Rory was doing well. So the second year round, we're coming up to Christmas, and I think we were 2 or 3 points ahead, and we had Crusaders at home, Linfield, Glentoran, with Crusader, you know, 6 tough games. But we just knew then, and we just said to the players, you know, people saying keep it in house, and we just went and said, lads, we're so far ahead of these teams, you know. That it's unbelievable. Don't be afraid. You know, we try and keep it in house. What we say outside is different, but in here we are going to win the league by a country mile. And we knew it, and we won them next 6 games. But it was a great feeling to be part of that and knowing that was going to happen before it happened.
It's one of those things, you know. I remember the phrase at the time was one game at a time. One game at a time, but it's actually really insightful to see that what we were doing was instilling belief inwardly. I'm sure there was challenging times during that period where there was arguments and fights and people not getting on, and like every sort of winning team, there's always big characters. Were there ever any altercations of any sort during games, before games?
Well, in the change room, you know, I'd be quite quiet and non-focal. We're at the Oval one day, and we're getting beat 1-0 by Glentoran. We're actually getting beat 1-0 against Glentoran. And Boise was huffing about, and he was this and that, and that ball wasn't sticking. He was having an awful game, you know. But he had a wee bit of a go at Tommy and saying, this training wasn't right. Well, fuck me, did I miss him? Here's me, you're a fat, ginger, lazy, baldy bastard. I says, you came fucking back from fucking Germany, you fucking snotters in your nose. Confidence was down that man carried you, and you're having a go at him. Get the fuck out of here and get a couple of goals. You're a fucking disgrace. I went through him and we nearly had each other's throats. But anyhow, here's me. And you'll never make a footballer, you know. So he goes out anyhow, first fucking ball, flicks it back to the defenders, sticks it in the top corner, and he comes running over, Minto, you're a dickhead. And I goes, Boise, I want you to make me a wanker. Go and score the next one. True enough, Liam delivered the goods, but I knew Liam was playing within himself a lot of times, and Liam used to really fire up at times, and me and Liam would have fought the piece out, and Bressie would have picked up the collateral damage, so to say, but Liam was always going to make it, and well done, Liam. Now it's great to see he's doing very, very well.
You do know that after saying all that and then saying that, it sounds like you made him. You're taking the credit for it.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
I know I talked about earlier you being from the on the road, and that big White House that I always used to walk past and think, geez, there must be rich living in there. Is that something that stands by you? Is that something that made playing at Cliftonville a bit more special? Being from somewhere like from the on the road in that part of town where we have enclaves across the city that you stand out among everyone, did it make it more special for you?
I think it was great. The lower on the road was a and it was a great, always was and still is a good, strong Cliftonville presence about there. So I think once you start to play for the team, and a great grounding from my parents as well, which was just good there. And we lived in a lock house, and everybody thought with money, fuck with A-Rod. We used to let on with money, no food, no nothing or anything. Big house with nothing in it, but as I say, absolutely delighted for that end of town, start playing for the Reds, and then, as you say, started getting noticed, which was good, you know, around the area, and there's still a very, very strong Cliftonville presence there. It was great, Gerald, when we won the league, and I had to do about 25 detours with the bus. We'll go here with a trophy, we'll go there with a trophy. But there was a lot of old-time Cliftonville supporters there who went through thick and thin. It wasn't easy to go to games, and they were real die-hard Reds. And it was great to see a trophy coming back to Yonder Road.
100% agree with that, because I remember that bus and where you went, and they still talk about it in the market in Elm Road, but nothing's happened in the Elm Road since. So it is brilliant to bring joy like that to people. I suppose finally, Minto, you were at the Reds, you were at Glenavon, as you mentioned beforehand. How did you actually end up at the Reds? Of course, you've mentioned already you're a Reds fan. We all were Reds fans on that side of the town. What made you get to Cliftonville in the end?
Well, as I say, when Sinclair went to Glenavon, he ended up, I think I got him the sack. It was a good signing, so he went to the Reds. So when Sinky went to the Reds, it was 2 years down to Glenavon, ended up at Sinky for Cliftonville, which was delighted to do.
Brilliant. And that was before Stevie Small's dad, which is great to hear. Minto, as Jared said earlier, it's genuine privilege to have people like you around the club, people like you come back to the club and give a little back to these fans here who you referenced earlier, die-hard fans who will go through thick and thin. And people at these sort of lunches, these events, are the type of people that you were referencing earlier. So it's fantastic for them to see you as you are today, talking about so passionately about our club. And I suppose it's genuinely lovely for us to have the chance to say thanks very much for all you've given Cliftonville, thanks very much for your input, your playing and your coaching, and more importantly your stories today. Can we give a massive round of applause to Minto Murray. Nobody knows this, but the bowling club have a levy on swearing, so all the money that we have raised today is going into the swear jar over there. Because I don't know if you know, but he has the old swear word in him. Minto, thanks very much, that was absolutely brilliant. Liam Boyce is shit. Right, we're going to draw our ballots here before we go out to the match. I say that without giving prior warning to the two girls who are looking after the ballots. So give us a wee minute or two, we'll get up, we'll draw the ballots, and then we will head round and watch, looking at Jared Lawler for some sort of ribbon game. Fantastic performance, really entertaining, invigorating, go forward, attacking football. Yep, that there. So I'll be up with you in 1 second, we'll get the ballot drawn and we'll head round. Thanks very much everyone.